I got 5 on it.
So, have I ever told you the story about when I was a little girl?
Okay, what happened?
It, okay, it's creepy because I was kind of a little bit of a creepy little girl.
Okay.
So,
You give me major creepy vibes.
that's what I was asking initially if
Yeah.
I give you creepy
Yeah, you
vibes.
give me creepy vibes.
Like if I'm like a little kid that's like I see dead people
Yeah, you'd be a creepy little girl with little eyes and curly hair.
because I had little eyes and curly hair when I was little.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean that's part of the reason why like I had like an insomnia problem when I was little too. It was weird.
Okay, so
I
what
always
happened?
thought the devil was gonna get me,
So tell me
but
the
that's also
story.
because I was Catholic and I went to a Catholic school too.
Wait, you
And I
went
went
out.
to what is it, catechism?
You went a cataclysmic,
Yeah.
cataclysmal.
So there's this time that I remember like really just like I have such a it's not that
So
creepy, okay?
painful.
You're like trying
you're
not
like
to hear
you're like
this.
taking so long to tell the story. You know?
It's not even a crazy story, but it's
Oh,
just like weird because I remember it so like vividly.
what happened?
So I had my own room at this point because when I was little, me and my brother shared a room for a while, and I finally got my own room.
Oh, this is a real story.
Yeah,
For some
and
reason, I thought you were about to tell the plot of Us with yourself as the little girl.
what? Okay, let me finish telling the
I was like,
story.
babe, what are you doing? I was gonna go with it, but you went off.
So I actually used to always have like nightmares, or I'd be scared in the nighttime, and I kind of still am. You know that.
Yeah.
So I kind of used to sometimes just like wake up my parents in the middle of the night,
I can't
or
sleep.
yeah.
I threw up.
Or sometimes like I would just like be standing by my parents' bed.
What? That's
Yeah.
creepy.
So
All curly?
there's this one time that I had a bad dream, and I was like I remember crying in that dream, and I woke up
Mm-hmm.
and I walked to my parents' room, and I just stood there at the end of my parents' bed. And my mom's a light sleeper, so she heard me, but like I didn't say anything. And she woke up and she's like, oh, what are you doing? And then I just looked at my mom and I was like, Mom, David's dead.
What? Who's David?
I have a cousin named David.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Why did you say
And
that? That's weird.
it is weird, but
You're
I guess in
weird.
my dream, like something happened to I don't know if it was my cousin or if I just coincidentally said David.
And you thought it was real.
Yeah. So I thought it was real, and I went and I scared myself, and I didn't want to wake up my parents, so I would just stand by their bed.
What the hell?
But I just wanted to be near them because like they were safe to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to bother them with like me like waking them up. So I
Mm-hmm.
would just stand at the end of their bed when I was scared. Um but my mom always woke up. So it's not like I was just standing there and I walked away like a fucking weirdo. Like she always woke up and was like, "Come here. Get in bed."
So that's the story?
So that was the story, but I just remember that and I feel still creepy about doing that. It gave me like I see dead people vibes.
I don't like this story. It's
Yeah,
scary.
me neither.
David's dead. Like, what the fuck?
Which is why, like, at night, sometimes I just, like, stand there looking at you at the end of the bed because I'm just like, you know,
What?
I'm just
Because, you
kidding.
know, I'm scary.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Um,
You're a very light sleeper, so it's actually really annoying that you used to wake your parents up and
yeah,
scare them with shit. And
the tables have turned.
now you're just over here light sleeping.
My dad wouldn't wake up. My mom only
It's
woke
like,
up. My dad would wake up when my mom let me go in the bed with them.
mm-hmm.
He'd be like,
Ah,
like I would bug them.
that's fucking scary.
And then there was this period where my uncle had shown me the ring when I was a little kid. and I couldn't sleep for like this the whole summer in my room.
What?
So I slept beside my
What
parents'
the hell?
bed.
You're like, I was 12.
My dad was so annoyed of me because I mean clearly I'm just like interfering in their marriage.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, like he would get annoyed of me, but my mom would just be like, just sleep beside me, like
Oh
on the.
my
I would sleep on
god.
the floor, babe.
What?
I would sleep on the floor
They just wake up, you're on the
in
floor?
my sleeping bag. No, they knew I was there.
What the hell? How old were you?
No,
You're annoying.
yeah.
I've been annoyed. Get out of here.
I just always had problems sleeping, and I was like so scared in the nighttime.
I hate that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still am
I still have to
scared.
deal with you. You're sleeping.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to deal with your not sleeping, so
That's true. I
that's
can't
fucking
sleep.
so annoying. It's almost like crazier that you don't sleep.
You like want to sleep, but you can't, and I don't want to sleep, and I can't sleep.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Well, since I was a little kid, I used to.
Like I'm like creepy vibes because I'm like doing weird shit in the night, and you're like chaotic mental vibes because you're like not going to sleep.
Well, when I was a little kid, I
So
didn't go to sleep.
we just
I'd
complement each other, I guess.
I'd stay up, and I would. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I'd be up with all the lights on. Like,
like it was daytime.
yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Doing who knows what.
Playing Pokemon, Legos, drawing, listening to Linkin Park.
I was just like I was kind of weird, and I still am. So I think that's where I got it
You
from.
still are.
Whoa.
I have a scary story.
I see dead people vibes.
I
It's
have a
me.
scarier story.
What?
Your story trailed off. It started scary, and then you're like, and that's it. I'm like, I didn't like that.
I feel like it's still like lingering though, because I'm just like kind of creepy.
You should have sweetened it up a
But
bit.
I want to embrace that about me now. You know, I have to
That you're
accept.
creepy?
Yeah,
Why are you
I'm a little
creepy?
creepy
Why?
because I have little eyes.
You don't have little eyes anymore.
My eyes got bigger for
They
some
grew.
reason. I don't know how that happened.
Do your eyes grow? Does anybody know that? Can we get a guest in the audience, please?
Dr. Kobe,
Dr.
can you
Kobe?
come into the room?
You over there licking your paws?
Yeah.
Can we get an answer, please? Yeah. So do you know if eyes grow? Do you know if eyes grow?
Kobe.
Do you know if eyes grow? Okay, so he's a man of few words. Dr. Kobe, thank you, everyone. Round of applause, please.
Thank you for giving us your time, Dr. Kobe.
So you heard it here, folks, from the doctor.
The doctor himself.
The doctor himself, Dr. Kobe, Felipe, Chavez, Miguel, Roberto.
Anyway,
Anyways,
what's your scary story?
so when I was a little kid, I was like 2 or 3. I used to have a imaginary friend.
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
I used to have an imaginary friend.
We're meant for each other, babe.
Yeah, I think so.
We're
We're
just
both
like
creepy.
weird.
Obviously, I don't remember the imaginary friend because I'm too old to remember that, right?
Yeah,
This
there's
was 28 years ago. So
28 years ago.
yeah, I'm 31. So 20 years ago.
28 or
28. 20 years ago.
I feel like
20? I was like 11.
I feel like you told me you were old when you had this imaginary friend.
Yeah, it was like 14.
You were 14.
I was 14.
When I first met you.
Yeah, when I first met you, I had an imaginary friend.
Named Thomas.
Named Thomas, and he had 3 fingers on each hand.
What did you say his name was?
Oh, his name was Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah, so I would tell my family, like, don't sit there. Bobby's sitting there.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, like they would sit there and be like, hey, Bobby's there. Or they'd be like, bring me food, and I'd be like, what about Bobby?
You mad?
Yeah, I'd be like defending Bobby all the time. Like, what about Bobby?
Why do you think you had an imaginary friend?
Well, let me get to the scary part first, and then we'll figure out why I had an imaginary friend, because that's a good question.
Yeah.
So I would always be defending Bobby, talking about Bobby. Bobby's sitting there. Bobby's eating this. Bobby's there. Hey, Bobby's right there.
Right.
I would tell them like weird things like that, and I would crawl
Ugh.
into
Like any child that's crawling, that's capable of walking.
yeah. I would crawl underneath the sink
Mm-hmm.
and open the cabinets,
That's really weird.
and I'd be there at night, and I'd be whispering into the cabinet, and they'd be like,
Oh God, babe.
like, "Where's Pops? Where is he at?" And then they'd find me in the closet, like whispering, or they'd find me like underneath the sink whispering, or they'd find me like underneath the house, like you know, like how there's like little vents underneath houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be like whispering in the vent, so I'd always like in some weird place like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the most common spot I'd be is under the sink,
That's so weird.
and they'd be like, "What are you doing in there?" And I'd be like, "Talking to Bobby." And they'd be like, "What?" I'm like, Bobby's here. He's here right now."
Ew.
Yeah, and Bobby lived under the sink.
Get to the scary part.
So
Because I know you're gonna say like something. Did you ever have a friend named Bobby?
there was this kid who lived in a house a few houses down,
Ew, my stomach's turning.
and the dad killed the whole family a few years before I was
you're
born.
Making this up. I know
And
you're making this up.
The dad's name was Robert, and his son's name was Robert Jr. And so I made that up.
I know.
But
I know when you're lying.
I made up, I made up the family next door.
First of all,
I didn't know. It's because you asked me if I had a friend named Bobby. And like
know,
that.
You
That was
to hype it up.
Yeah, it was a perfect moment. No, I didn't. I didn't have a friend named Bobby.
Also, I saw your smile when you were saying that. So I was like, okay,
it was like,
I know you're bullshitting me.
Storytelling, Mo. Yeah.
Perfect opportunity.
Perfect opportunity. The mind of Adam Sandler. Yeah. So I don't know. So
you were under the sink talking to Bobby. Did anything creepier happen?
what are you talking about? Imagine I'm like, I just don't even remember what I said right
Bobby?
now. Who's Bobby? Yeah, so they would say I'd be under there talking to Bobby, like telling him, like, it's okay, Bobby.
Did you ever watch the show Bobby's World?
No.
Really?
You brought that up when we first started dating, and I was like, what the fuck is Bobby's World?
I remember you saying, what the fuck's Bobby's
Yeah,
World?
and you're like, it's Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Nelson Mandela.
It's Nelson Mandela's TV show.
It's fuck, I forget his name.
Something Mandela, right?
Yeah.
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel.
It's Howie Mandel.
Not Howie.
Nelson Mandela. It's Nelson Mandela's sketch
he was
variety
in
show.
prison.
Yeah, he made a sketch variety show in the prisons of Africa. Howie Mandel. Shout out Howie Mandel.
If you're listening.
If you're listening. He's got a what's that shit called? He's got
Bobby's World.
He's got Bobby's World. He's a hypochondriac.
No.
Yeah.
Same.
He's like really crazy.
I'm a fellow hypochondriac.
You are a fellow
well.
hypochondriac. He's so famous for being a hypochondriac that's literally how he had his big break. He used to carry gloves around because he didn't like to touch things, like touch doors and stuff. And his closer to his set would be him blowing up a glove and then putting it over his head.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, he would do that, and that would just like make
It would make people laugh.
Yeah, like he would not laugh. Like no one would laugh the whole set. He would end his set just with a glove over his head.
So anyway, when did you stop talking to Bobby?
So I'm pretty sure I talked to Bobby till I was like in school.
So
I was like 4 or 5.
Do you think you ever got made fun of at school?
No, I wasn't talking to Bobby at school because Bobby didn't live there. Bobby probably lived at my house. I think Bobby was probably a ghost.
Oh shit!
Bobby had to be a ghost. He's weird. You want to know something really crazy?
Weird. Do you remember anything about him?
You want to know something weird about Bobby? Mm-hmm. So like I would always ask for food for Bobby and stuff and talk to Bobby. And
would they serve Bobby a plate?
They would ask me about Bobby, and I would answer questions about Bobby to them as a little kid. And Bobby wasn't my age. Bobby was like a grown man.
Ew.
Yeah. Weird, huh? Scary.
A grown man.
Yeah, he was like a grown up.
That's disgusting.
And he like was like, it's just like crouched underneath the sink, hiding in the sink at at night in the dark.
Oh God, babe, that's
And
so
I would open up and
sick.
talk to him and be like, leave stuff there
Hey,
for
how you
him.
doing, Bobby?
Hey, Bobby. And I'm like, I'm not scared at all, Bobby.
So weird.
So fucking weird.
Do you remember anything about him? Like, if you think about it at all, like, do you have an image of Bobby?
I don't have any image of Bobby right now. Maybe if I did some drugs, I'd probably know.
Oh God.
Maybe I'm pushed out of my head.
Maybe you don't want to remember.
I feel like I do have a memory of Bobby that like hit me like a few years ago, and I kind of pushed it out because it was scary.
Did he ever talk to you?
Bobby would talk all the time. Pretty sure.
He's talkative.
He's talking right now.
Stop.
He's right here.
You're fucking creeping me out.
No, I don't fucking remember, baby. You're acting like I remember Bobby. Like it's an imaginary friend I had when I was like a baby.
Yeah.
Like I didn't learn how to read till I was 7 years old. So like, or 8 years old actually, third grade.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have any written documentation about Bobby. I don't have any photos of me talking to Bobby.
Yeah, it's weird because I never had an imaginary friend. I don't think I was like mental like that, but I'm just kidding.
You just didn't have an imagination.
No, but I did have this obsession with playing with teddy bears.
Talking about David.
My cousin David.
David's dad.
Oh God. I don't know if that dream was about my cousin, so let's.
You want to know something crazy?
Put that in the air, but
so my family, like my aunt and uncle's house, like we were always at my aunt and uncle's house in Boyle Heights, and they had a family friend that would come, like he would clean the house, like spotless, like on his, like spotless, clean the whole fucking house
for free.
No, of course not.
He was like, was he on drugs?
No, yeah, he was. Bobby was on meth.
Wait, you're Bobby.
They had a guy who would come clean the house. You fucking you interrupted and I fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
They had a guy who
was on meth. He was a cleaner.
They had a guy come clean my aunt and uncle's house all the time. He was like just a guy that lived in the neighborhood in Boyle Heights, and they all knew him. He didn't work. He didn't do anything, but he always had on like worker's clothes, like he's working.
Okay.
And he would clean my aunt and uncle's house. And then, when, like my mom and dad moved somewhere, he would come clean. And then even like when I was already in middle school and they bought a house, like he would come clean the house and like do shit. Like
his name was actually Bobby.
And his name was actually Bobby. Weird. And we would go pick Bobby up.
Did you did you get along with him?
Bobby would talk like this. We would talk really fast. We talk like this all the time because Bobby was always on meth.
Did you? I know, but like,
so Bobby.
But like, did you actually like him? Like,
Bobby was
show
nice.
You cool cards or anything?
I mean, Bobby was nice, but like no one was leaving kids with Bobby. Like, yeah, Bobby would come clean the house or like fucking, clean the storm drain. There's some crazy shit like. Meth head shit, like
Yeah.
I don't know if he was on meth or he was on crack, but he was always talking really fast. He was probably talking really fast. He was like, and then you like wouldn't understand anything he's saying.
Yeah.
And he would always be like, You're like, what? It was always uncomfortable to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he's just like his eyes are really big, and he was like really sunken up. I don't know what happened to Bobby. I don't know if Bobby's alive. I don't know what's up with him.
So that was the only Bobby you remember in your childhood.
That's the only Bobby I remember.
And you knew him, like, was he coming around when you were a little kid too? Like a little kid?
That Bobby didn't come around until later. So there's no correlation between him and imaginary Bobby.
Weird.
Ghost Bobby.
I had this weird thing where I was obsessed with teddy bears. And, I mean, I guess, like, kids like that stuff anyway.
Yeah, like their stuffed animal and shit.
But I had so many teddy bears. Like
too many, huh?
I had like so many stuffed animals. I probably had like 15 to 20 in my bed.
In the bed?
Yeah, in my bed.
Oh my god!
I would sleep at the edge of the bed just so my teddy bears could be there.
It's like so uncomfortable, so cold.
And I had this one teddy bear that my mom's cousin Jeannie, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Jeannie.
She gave this teddy bear to me. It was cute when she gave it to me, but it was nothing special. Like, it was special to me, but like it didn't look special to anybody else. It wasn't
like an out of the ordinary bear. It was just another bear you liked in your collection.
And he had a Christmas hat.
Oh.
And there's like nothing else. He was just a white little bear, tiny,
Mm-hmm.
not super tiny, like probably the size of like my forearm right here. And I would just carry him around everywhere. I would take him everywhere with me, and his name was Mr. Teddy.
Mr. Teddy, very appropriate.
And I was just like, I still have him somewhere in like my parents' house.
Oh yeah, you told me about Mr. Teddy.
And it's just like crazy. Like I don't know if that's weird, but I would just carry him around everywhere with me. Like he would go everywhere with me, Mr. Teddy. I don't remember talking to him,
Mm-hmm.
but I just remember like always needing him there.
You're like, where's Mr. Teddy?
I need Mr. Teddy.
Where's Mr. Teddy?
And then I had this rabbit that my Nina gave me, and her name was Sally.
A real rabbit?
No, like a stuffed animal rabbit. So I really had like this connection with Sally and Mr. Teddy.
You're like, I'm really creepy. I just like really, I had nightmares and I was attached to teddy bears. And I'm like telling you, I used to talk to a guy, a grown man who lived under the sink. Lived under the sink. And then there's another one who did meth named Bobby.
Who was not imaginary.
It was not imaginary. A real person. Yeah. Imagine Bobby was actually imaginary, the one that was cleaning the house.
Oh, God.
One time I was on shrooms with Chris and I said that. He was like, don't say that.
Yeah.
I like tripped him out real bad.
I mean, it trips me out that you even had an imaginary friend. But it's weird because a lot of kids do.
You know what I think it was? I was an only child and there weren't other kids in my family around my age at the time. Friend? Yeah, I probably was lonely. Yeah. And there was all these adults I was around all the time. Mm-hmm. Like my aunts. Like I lived
It's just weird that you wanted a grown man imaginary friend.
I don't know if I wanted that. If that's just if I actually saw something. Yeah, it was weird.
That's who volunteered, who stepped up to the plate.
Imaginary grown man. What
he's
if it was
all
real?
Right, I got this, man. Like,
what if it was a ghost
from the imaginary world? He's like, fine, I'll go under the sink.
What if it was a ghost? What if there's like a time where like I get stuck somewhere and then I'm like I'm crawling through like tunnels and then I end up like under a sink and then it's me talking to little kid me and it's like Interstellar.
I just love that we were cracking up about that meme earlier.
Oh my God, that's me.
Yeah.
That's okay. So let me tell you something else.
What?
On top of that, when I was after that, I think it was from like ages 6 and on, probably until I was like even like an adult, when I was still living with my parents in Alhambra. Mm-hmm. I used to sleepwalk.
Oh God!
And I used to talk.
You're so creepy.
I used to talk in my sleep.
He's here.
Yeah, I would be like, he's here. What do you mean he's here?
Who's here?
He's here. I was smiling in my sleep. He's here.
Oh God!
And like, they would catch me outside. I would like,
the fuck?
Yeah,
catch me outside.
They catch me outside. Like with Dr. Phil. No, like they would wake up and I'd have the door wide open. I'd walked outside of the apartment.
God, babe.
And we had like a walkway. Like it was like a bunch of walkways, and
no stairs.
There's stairs, yeah.
So you would get down the stairs.
If you've ever seen this place, it's very familiar. But if you've ever driven off of Evergreen and Cesar Chavez and Boyle Heights, there's next to the cemetery. There's pink apartments, and they're called the Evergreen Terraces. Mm-hmm. And that's where I lived with my grandma and my mom. My dad was like, he was off and on living with us and stuff. So I was living with my mom and my grandma at the time, both my grandmas. And they would wake up and I was like walking out of the door and there's these walkways to the apartment. So it's like a long walkway and then a door.
It's crazy and then a door at the other one. Up. Like, were you making noises?
Well, because they would hear the door open and be like, who the fuck is opening the door at like 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m.? Yeah. And it's me, like with my eyes open, like sleepwalking though.
Oh my
God. And they would try to wake me up. And every time they woke me up, I'd be like, like I'd like, I'd wake up.
Yeah.
And they'd be like fucking scared. And they would like, my grandma would take me to like.
I heard you're not supposed to wake up.
You're not supposed to wake them up. Yeah.
So they're supposed to let you walk around.
I don't know
Boyle Heights.
What you're supposed to do, but my grandma started like taking me to church and they would like say like
they probably thought
they
you
were like
possessed.
She was like, she was really old and they would like, say it was back when they would say the mass in Latin. Do you remember? Did you ever go to churches like that?
Yeah, I guess.
Like the old school churches in Moral Heights still did the Latin mass, so
Which
you
is
would.
like even scary.
It's scary. They're like, you're like,
The
what the
scary
fuck?
was it the organ, right?
Yeah, with the organ, it's like everyone's
Fucking
listeking in like this
like,
shitty
how are
cheap
you supposed
church.
to feel happy in here?
Well,
You're supposed to
because
feel like a sinner.
after you'd have pozole, like in menudo
It's just
and pan.
crazy.
Yeah, that church was weird as fuck.
So when did you stop sleepwalking, and how were they able to
The
fix
last time
that?
I sleepwalk was as an
Can you
adult.
not cough into the mic?
Ah! Sorry.
Just for future reference.
Yeah, my bad. I think I stopped sleepwalking like as an adult, and I think I did it not too long ago.
What? Don't fucking tell me that, babe. I swear to
Not
God, I'm gonna.
not like
Fuck that.
not while we've been living together, but like
Imagine, oh my God, my
you
boss
woke
is
up.
like, hey, we had some theft going on in the
Dumb.
parking lot. And
Theft?
it's you just
Waking
like
up and
breaking
stealing?
into cars.
All crazy. It'd probably be not as weird as that. That's
Or
weird.
you know what would even be weirder is that they're like looking in the cameras
And it's just me
you just
walking
happen to walk by.
in my underwear, just walking around all weird.
Oh God, this makes me sick. I'm gonna need to watch King of the Hill tonight. Oh
So
God.
yeah, I used to wake up like my parents would wake up and see me like standing in the hallway all weird
Ew.
in the dark,
You're
and like
scaring me.
and you know like there used to be like the front door and then a long hallway, and you know like the front door had like the glass, like the patterned glass, so the light would shine in from the moon and like the street lights, and you just see my shadow there just standing,
Your big ass head.
my big ass head, and I'm just like standing there, and they'd be like, "Pops, what are you doing?" And I wouldn't move. I'm just standing there, and they'd walk up to me. They'd have to walk up to me and touch me and wake me up. My mom used to be fucking scared.
God.
She'd be like, we woke up and you were standing like a weirdo, like in the corner, like somewhere, like in the house.
I have to ask your mom about this.
Yeah.
Go see
No,
her.
I used to scare the shit out of them.
I bet that's
Yeah.
you're like scaring me. I'm gonna sleep at the cross tonight, and I'm
Yeah.
not even Catholic.
Like, I would just be like, and I talk in my sleep all the time. They'd be like, "We heard you like talking in your sleep
You
last
know
night."
what's crazy? It's weird because at first I was like, okay, I'm definitely creepier than you, but then you're telling me all this shit. And I'm like, now you're creeping me out.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm remembering things. I used to. My best friend at the time.
Yeah.
She was always sleeping over my house.
Yeah.
And I was always sleeping over her house, but she was mostly always at my house. I would fight her in my sleep.
What?
I would beat her up in my sleep. Like I would just like grab her and fight her and like
you guys be laying down.
No, I would be sleeping. I was asleep.
I know, but she was in the bed with you?
No, like let's say I remember this time specifically actually.
You're beating her up in your dream?
No. I remember this time specifically, but this happened multiple times. I was just like sleeping.
Yeah.
My dad was like traveling, so we were in some hotel, and my mom and my brother, we were all sharing like the room.
Mm-hmm.
And me and her were sleeping in our sleeping bags on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like fighting her, like grabbing her and trying to like fight her. And my mom had to wake me up and pull me away from her.
You're trying to hurt her?
I was trying to hurt her in my sleep.
You're weird. You're scary. I don't like that.
And my mom was like, Alexis, wake up. Like, she was like pulling me away. And I remember that. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And I remember she, like, in the morning or like later on, or I don't even remember if I was like, if I just went back to sleep but I remember she reminded me about it. And she's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you know, I was fucking weird. I think I would also I had this like this happened a lot of times. I remember, and since she was always sleeping over my house, she would always be like, dude, you were laughing in your sleep that night. Last night. It was fucking creeping me out.
Who would say that?
My friend.
That's
my real friend.
That's how she would talk to you?
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you guys?
Kids.
How old were you?
And then we were teenagers.
How old were you when you were beating her up in your sleep?
I was probably like 10, 9, 10.
9, 10? You're like
Yeah.
9, 10, 15.
No, I don't think I was beating her up when I was a teenager. I think I stopped
What
doing
the
that.
hell?
But yeah, I would beat her up. It was weird.
I remember when I was like 11 or 12, Jalen, my little sister, used to, she would pee in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one time she pissed in the bed, my parents' bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom went to go sleep in Jalen's room with her, and my dad slept in the bed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad fucking snores.
Yeah.
And like, I think I was like, he like woke me up because he's like, scoot over.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, your sister peed in the bed. So I'm like, oh. And then like, I was dreaming, and in my dream, I hit someone, and I punched my dad in the face.
Oh my god!
And he was like, "What the fuck, Jess?" He like woke up and he was like, telling
what's
everybody.
weird? This one time, I was still living. It was recently, but I was still living at my parents' house, so I was probably like 26.
Yeah.
I was having this dream. This one's not scary, but it's weird. That I was eating like shrimp fried rice in my dream.
Okay, you would be eating shrimp fried rice in your dream.
And I woke up and I had the taste of shrimp fried rice in my mouth.
Weird. That's
gross. Weird, huh? It's just weird, like how like powerful your brain is.
Yeah.
And that if you're imagining something and if you're picturing it,
the memory was powerful enough. It lingered.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, I guess we should end.
Wait, I have another scary story. I used to have this car.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first car. It was like the first car that like I had that was mine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a car I borrowed from a family member or something. And this car, like when I got it, it had no engine. It didn't have any like a whole front end to it.
Mm-hmm.
All it was the tires and the body of the car. It was missing an engine, a transmission, like all of that in the front. So like I had to save up money. I was working at Pizza Hut, and I fixed this car up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I was driving this car for like years.
Yeah.
And it's probably like the second or third year I owned it. It started doing this weird shit.
Like Christine?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, the Stephen King movie, right?
Yeah.
Where the car starts and
yeah.
like...
It's like a possessed car.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That was like my favorite movie when I was a kid.
Christine?
Yes.
That was my favorite movie.
I swear I love that movie. My dad showed me that movie.
No, Christine, this was not like Christine.
Which is probably why I had all these nightmares. I just saw all these scary movies.
Yeah, as your dad was showing you scary movies and you should have been asleep.
Yeah, that's true.
My mom did the same to me. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Tell me about Christine.
So,
did you ever name this car?
No, I never named the car. You know, I never named my cars.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't until I got with you that I started considering like maybe naming a car.
Yeah. Dusty.
Dusty, but I can't have Dusty.
You can't have Dusty?
No, like I can't use Dusty. That's just like the placeholder name.
Oh, that's not his real name?
I don't even know if it's his.
I think your car's a girl, and I think you treat her like she's some butch lesbian car.
She's just like going through the shit with me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, she's way less creepy than my old car. So my old car used to just start by itself. Like one time I came home really late and I hopped out of the car, I locked it, and like I walked to the front door. I opened the door and my car just went like this car like had a stupid exhaust on it, so it was really loud.
Mm-hmm.
So when it would start up, it'd be like vroom. So I heard it start up like that.
On its own.
On its own.
You didn't even put the keys in the ignition?
This is a 95 accurate TL.
You didn't put the keys in this.
There's no push to start. There's no computer like that. Like it's just straight up fucking machine.
So you didn't have the keys in the ignition is what I'm asking.
No, I had my keys. I was opening the front door to my house. And it just started up. And I remember waking up my dad, like going to wake him up and be like, Dad. And he was like, what? I'm like, my car started. He's like, what? It's like 2 in the morning, you know? It's like, like, are you fucking high? You know, like,
Yeah.
you mean your car started?
Were you high?
Yeah, I was high. Yeah, I was probably drunk. I was probably high. But he woke up and he came outside to like to the door and he was all half asleep in his underwear, like, why is your car on? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, so I woke you up, like, and like holding the keys, like, look. And he just went back to sleep. He was like, just go turn it off. And like I turned it off and it just like turned off right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time it went on when I was coming home again, but this time I wasn't fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
No one was home though to be like,
A witness?
yeah, to witness it. But it wasn't as late. I was coming home and I did the same thing. I went inside, but it didn't happen as soon as I opened the door though. Like
Mm-hmm.
I went into my house, I threw my shit in my room and like probably like, you know, took a shit and fucking washed my face and stuff and then like was walking around the kitchen, then I heard something outside. And then I went to look out the window and my car was just like the lights on. Like all the lights on.
Weird.
I was like, what the fuck? So I went outside like what the hell? And I realized my keys were inside, my car keys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on again, just like chilling there with all the lights on. And I was like trying to turn it off and it wouldn't turn off. And I kept trying to turn it off and it would just turn things on. Like the lights were just turning on over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like just like smacking the shit out of like the steering wheel, like trying to get it to turn off.
Yeah.
Eventually it turned off. And so I would tell people about this and they didn't believe me.
Yeah, you sound crazy.
I would be like, my car starts on its own sometimes. Because it happened after maybe a few more times. And then I would always tell the homies, like, dude, my car starts on its own. They wouldn't believe me that was full of shit.
Yeah.
And one time we were all kicking in my garage,
Mm-hmm.
and my car used to, stay parked behind the garage.
Do you have any friends that can
Yeah,
say that this happened? Because
yeah.
I also don't believe you.
Yeah, Chris was there. I guess Chris.
Okay.
And we were all hanging out in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure my friend Rob was there too. I'm pretty sure Rob was there because
Mm-hmm.
he would be like, "Dick, nah, Spencer, fool, like you're full of shit." And
Did
we're
they
all.
ever watch the movie Christine?
I don't know if they saw Christine. That's too much information for me to know.
Okay.
And we were all hanging out in my garage, and we were like playing music and stuff. And I heard my car start up and just start revving.
What the hell?
And I thought someone was trying to steal my car. So like they're like, "Dick, like what?" And like I ran out, like out of the garage, like what the fuck? Someone's trying to steal my car. And I like ran out of the garage. I ran out the door, out the gate into the alley, and no one was there. My car was just on, and it was like revving, and like the lights were on, the high beams were on, and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like hopped into my car, and it wouldn't turn off. And I was just in there like trying to turn it off, and it just kept revving, like, and I was like holding the gas, and it was, I mean, the brake, and it was
Mm-hmm.
revving. And I got it to turn off, and when I went inside, they were like, "What the fuck happened?" I was like, "It just turned on, like I told you guys." And they were like, "What the fuck?" They were all creeped out.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Oh my god.
I think you
Well,
saw.
there's no way to prove it to
I
you
think
now.
you saw Christine too many times.
I used
One
to love
too many
Christine.
times.
No, I don't even think I've even seen Christine like as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I feel like it's one of those movies I saw like as it was on TV and I never saw all the way through.
Oh.
Like Pet Sematary, like the OG one.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure I've only seen it in pieces throughout like direct TV.
We should watch Christine.
We should watch all of
because I haven't. I used to watch that movie, like a lot, but not like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't seen it as an adult. So you know,
watch
there's
it.
some things that as an adult you're like, damn, I miss this.
And then you watch it and you appreciate it a little more.
Yeah, because you like maybe missed some symbols or you missed some.
Or you weren't old enough to like
to
get
understand things. Yeah,
I like that too. What's a movie?
It's almost like watching a good movie all over again, and now it's better.
Yeah, it kind of is like that.
Yeah. Any other creepy things? Apparently, I'm not creepy.
Yeah, you don't have any creepy stories because like you just don't have like enough creepy stuff that's happened to you.
My mom says I was a perfect child.
Yeah, I know. You just got off the phone with her and she said no. Was Jesse weird?
Everyone just assumes you're
Yeah,
weird.
and you're like, yep. Yeah, like my mom used to use the camcorder to record my sister and I all the time.
Mm,
And you know those camcorders that have like the little mini VHS on them?
mm.
One time when we were living in Alhambra, I think I was probably in high school, my mom found her old bin of like the old mini VHSs. And she had this like little TV in the kitchen that she would like, like she'd watch while she's cooking. And it's just like a little tiny, like the one in your parents' kitchen, like a
Hmm.
little tiny one. And she would watch it when she was like cooking or prepping food and shit. And one time she was like telling me to come watch these videos of Jen and I when we were young. And we were watching it. And like all the videos, there's like a little white orb like following around Jalen's head.
Weird.
Yeah, Jalen's probably like a year old. And this like little orb would just like move. Like, not like a fucking like a error in the
Yeah.
film or the like the digital code or whatever. It was nothing like that. It was like just a straight up weird light following Jalen's head. And it was
Weird.
in multiple videos.
Was your sister creepy at all? Or
My
she was
sister,
a normal kid?
Jalen was super normal. Yeah, she looked like Boo from Monsters Inc. And my mom leaned into it and gave her the haircut.
Your mom
Yeah,
leaned into
yeah,
it.
she like leaned into
That's
it,
funny.
and she made her Boo one year.
How cute.
Halloween. Yeah, she looked a lot like her. She was just a good kid.
Yeah.
Like she was not. There was
There's
nothing
nothing
weird.
possessing her.
No, there was
Not
nothing
like
weird or
you.
creepy about her. No, she was normal. She was super normal. I
No
was just weird.
imaginary friends.
Yeah, like no, she didn't have any imaginary friends or anything. I was super weird. I forget what I was saying before that.
Mm,
What was I talking about? The orb.
yeah,
So the
your
orb's
sister.
following my sister in these videos. My mom was like convinced it's like the ghost of like my great grandma.
Mm,
She's like,
Grandma L.
Grandma L. She's like, your Grandma L died, and then I had Jalen. Jalen was probably conceived like shortly after that
Mm-hmm.
because she was born the next year.
Oh, wow.
Jalen was born a year later. Isn't
Okay.
that crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's like, this was your grandma. I'm like, what? My mom would just make weird shit up like
I
that.
know. Just like,
My
okay, I
grandma.
guess this.
I'd be like, why is that my grandma? Like the creepiest thing. Like
This is your grandma
this is your grandma
on on the TV.
on the TV following your sister in a weird
VHS.
light. Yeah, it's super weird.
It's possible. I mean, if you add certain meanings to things, then it's your truth, right?
I guess so. My mom's weird. She's even more weird.
Just
You
like
don't have any
adding.
weird stories.
Yes, I
You don't got
do.
no weird. You never been weird.
It's just that
I know nothing about weird.
you always outdo me because you're like
You ain't never been weird. You wish you were weird.
no.
You're a little weird.
I am weird. What are you talking about? You're always saying, why are you saying that? That's weird.
Yeah, you're
You're
weird.
always like, you're creeping me out when I say shit to you. You're like, I mean, I don't know why you're thinking like that or why you're saying that. It's weird.
Yeah, sometimes your thought process is like completely lost on me.
Yeah. And
I'm
it's
like,
weird
what?
because I'm like, out of all people, you should understand because
know.
you're fucking weird.
I know that's why it throws me off. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Which is why sometimes I creep myself out because I think that like maybe on the surface level I seem like normal, but I'm actually like
Even weirder.
even weirder than you.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yeah. But now you're saying all this stuff and I'm like, no, he's weirder.
Yeah, he's strange.
It's probably something following him.
There's probably like a demon following me.
Yeah.
It makes me hungry.
Hungry?
He's like,
Your stomach is the demon?
he's like, eat a chalupa. Order the pastrami.
Eat the candy in the
Eat
cupboard.
the candy in the cupboard. He's
Yeah.
like, smoke another eight.
Eat her edibles.
Eat her edibles. Eat her fiber gummies.
Yeah, I just thought that was this was a good opening to our review about Jordan Peele's
Finally. This is the opening.
It's 40 minutes in.
So now we're going to talk about what the episode's all about.
Just to get to the point.
Yeah. Just to get to the point now. Just a long story short. Us.
We saw the movie Us. Or Them.
Oh.
Ooh.
Spoilers.
There's some spoilers.
Us
Spoiler alert. I mean, this movie is pretty old now at this point. I think it was
when did it come out?
in 2019, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can't hold anything we're saying about this to
Don't get mad.
Yeah, like this is not a. We don't have anything in front of us.
For-
No facts other than our experience of just watching this.
Yeah.
So it must have came out before. It's pre-pandemic Jordan Peele.
Mm-hmm.
Has there even been a post-pandemic Jordan Peele?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so, huh?
No.
Nope didn't come out after the pandemic, right?
Oh, might have. Nope did come out after Us, no?
I don't know. Where's my
Fact
phone?
checks.
Up there? Oh, no. All right.
So, it's fine.
It's fine. We don't need it. The point is that we just saw Us.
Mm-hmm.
You just saw Get Out for the first time.
Yesterday.
And we saw Nope for the first time, like, sometime last year?
So Nope came out in 2022.
Oh, there you go. See? So,
which is funny.
Last year. 2 years ago.
Well, last year.
Yeah.
And a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw Us. I saw Get Out yesterday.
We just saw Us.
I really liked the movie Get Out. I thought it was...
Okay, let's not talk about Get Out. That's too old.
I mean, I'm late to it, but I just enjoyed watching the movie. It was a good thriller.
You're like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
There's so many movies that I'm just so like late to, but yeah, I need to see Die Hard too, I guess.
It's okay. There's a lot of movies that you talk about that I realize I'm super late to. Mm-hmm. Or I thought I saw it, and then you show it to me, and I'm like, I never even really saw this.
Like Malibu's Most Wanted?
Yeah, no, not like Malibu's Most Wanted.
You hadn't seen it. You're like, what? I saw it a long time ago, and you didn't remember anything.
I had seen Malibu's Most
Now you're
Wanted.
Ashamed, so you're denying it, babe. I always would reference like lines to that movie.
Okay, you're talking about like me not remembering specific lines. You're
like
weird.
Really important lines. It's not that weird because it's like if you've seen the movie once or twice, you would remember these lines, and you didn't. So
I mean, I already knew like the game station, Gamecast. I knew fucking King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Him referencing the fucking.
I think you just like ashamed that you didn't really remember the movie.
That's not even true.
Yeah, but
All right. Well, she's trying to take credit for showing me fucking Malibu's Most Wanted, which I already seen.
But you didn't.
You're probably talking about another movie.
No, it's that movie. I remember.
I'm not gonna say it argue about Malibu's Most Wanted. I already had seen it.
You didn't.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm walking out of this interview.
Yeah.
I can't be on a podcast where I can't talk about Malibu's Most Wanted.
That's fine.
It's my favorite movie ever.
It's not. You said that about Adam Sandler movies, and you know nothing about them either.
What? That's what we're talking about.
Anyway,
not Malibu's Most Wanted.
No, I was talking about Malibu's Most Wanted too.
Okay. Anyways,
Malibooty.
Malibooty.
See, you would know that reference.
See, that's like a super specific reference.
It's not. Everyone knows what Malibooty is.
What are you talking about? I'm too stoned to remember what you're even talking about.
Okay, so
Anyways, so with that, I haven't seen Malibu's Wanted, I guess.
Malibu's Wanted?
I haven't seen Malibu's Wanted. I still haven't seen it.
Wanted, okay.
I haven't seen Malibu's Wanted. Just keep getting shorter. I haven't seen Malibu's.
Okay, so yeah, there have been some movies that I have talked about, and you're like, I guess I haven't really seen it recently.
That's not what we're talking about. The point is, you just saw Get Out.
Yes.
And no one wants to hear you talk about
Get Out.
Your opinion of Get Out. Let's talk about Us.
Let's talk about them.
Let's talk about them.
Nope.
Like, Get Out, because the thing is, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna say you like to Get Out.
I don't know if you got my joke. But we said all of the titles to his movies.
Yeah, I know. Nope. Yeah, like you're gonna say you like Get Out, and like everyone already likes Get Out.
I feel like you didn't. You said you didn't really like it,
I know, but I'm saying
so I just
like
wanted to
you know,
let you know
uh,
that I do like it.
like most people though like Get Out.
Yeah,
So
and
then
I get the hype. I'm just saying I'm with the hype. I'm
yeah,
cool. I'm hip.
it's cool.
Um, no, but I did like it. It
You were
was.
definitely already cool and hip before you saw Get Out, and you might be a little less cool now
that I
that
like it
you
out.
like it now.
I like it.
I'm just kidding. It's not bad.
I
It's
just
not a
keep
bad movie.
repeating
I
it. I
like it
like
a
it. It's
lot.
a good movie.
No, it's not even a bad movie. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I feel like the other things he's done like are more like
Have gotten more creative. Yeah,
yeah, I think they're more
definitely.
ambitious creatively.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think the first one was very like it came off very like almost Key and Peele to me still.
Wait, the first one?
Get Out.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never seen the sequel?
there's a sequel to Get
No, I'm
Out.
just kidding. There's not. But
Get In.
I meant like his first movie.
Mm,
Get Out being his first movie.
yeah,
When I remember watching it and being
that
like, this
reminded
is
you of Key and Peele.
yeah, and then they even have Lil
Weirdo.
Rel in it. Like they had it's like kind
He's
of
he's
funny.
the comedic relief.
He's a comedic relief, but the other movies don't really have comedic relief,
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, Nope is kind of funny. I mean, she goes Nope,
Nope,
and that's kind of funny.
because she says nope.
Yeah, because like she's like,
Kiki Palmer
I'm not fucking dealing with these aliens right now. Nope. Like,
doesn't the brother says it too.
yeah,
They both say it. I think they all say it at some point.
they're like, nope, which
Nope.
is kind of funny.
I mean that's
It's not as serious as us.
okay. I guess I get what you're saying. You're saying that nope is like lighthearted because it's like it's a meme.
Oh,
Like
I
nope.
wasn't saying that, but okay.
Well, that's what nope is.
Yeah,
Like it's
nope,
in reference to black people saying nope
nope.
about shit.
Yeah, which is
That's
funny.
just like spooky.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I would say that out of all his films, Get Out was not as lighthearted as Nope. I feel like Nope was the most like
Nope was more
lighthearted.
lighthearted, you
Yeah.
think? Nope was weird because it's like aliens.
Yeah.
So it's not so like straight up horror like us.
I mean, like Get Out is pretty creepy. Cause like
Yeah.
shit like that actually exists, where like white people are
It's
like
very like
doing some
cultish.
weird shit.
Yeah, it just had like a little bit of like fantasy element,
I mean, who knows? Maybe
right?
it's based on a true story.
Like occupying the message was very clear
It
in Get
is.
Out though, which is also one thing I like about
Which,
it,
yeah, there wasn't as much like
like metaphor
metaphor, even
and
though there was,
symbolism.
but not as much as Us.
Us is
And
like
Nope
Nope is
too.
like super deep symbolism and like allegorical, and then Us was also very like metaphorical and
Symbolic.
symbolic, and just there's a lot of depth to like
Right.
the themes
The
and stuff.
messages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's funny you found that quote of Jordan Peele just summing it up,
Basically. He
but
summed up
in
his
one
whole movie.
sentence. Yeah,
like
like not even a
in
sentence,
an
just like
NPR quote.
yeah, just an NPR quote summed up what the movie is about. And
Yeah.
everyone's writing like master's theses about what is Us really
Us.
about?
Yeah.
Is Us really a story about you know
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's me.
Right.
Who's that guy? What's that guy's name?
Who?
The guy that talks like this.
I don't know who you're talking about.
PCRW. Yeah, so Us. What did you think?
Um I wasn't like I think when I first see a movie I always try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't seem to like figure out the movie. You had to really, how when you watch a movie sometimes and you figure out the whole movie like either early on or midway and you're just like kind of bored the rest of the way.
What? Really? You watch movies like that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You've never seen a movie like that?
And you get bored because you figured it out?
You're just like, I mean, you're still watching it, but you're like, I already figured out this movie.
Hmm.
And you're like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I get those moments where you're like, oh, I fucking knew that was gonna happen, and then
Yeah.
you're just like pissed that it happened.
In this movie, I just like I wanted to keep
Well, this is a
paying
good thing then,
attention to the
right?
movie. Yes, which is what I'm trying to say.
You're saying it's a bad thing if you can do that.
Right.
Okay.
So I wanted to just keep being engaged with the movie, like, and I wanted to just keep trying to figure out what's going on here. What are the messages that I need to see? Like, what's the point of the movie? And I just really couldn't figure it out. And then I mean, it took us having to like read it to really figure it out.
Yeah, I
What
was like, what the hell is he talking about?
what was the point
We
of
were
it?
like, we weren't even trying to do any of the work. We were just like, we just watched it and just wanted to know.
Well, we did try to like talk a little bit throughout the movie just to be like, is this what this means? Is this what this means?
Yeah,
Like,
I just mean we didn't sit on it.
yeah, we didn't, and we just
We were like, give it to
immediately
us now. Like
we
just
went
wanted
to our
know.
phones. Yeah,
But I think it's because we started hypothesizing pretty heavily. Like,
yeah,
right
like
away.
what could it be?
Like this.
Yeah,
And then we're like, just check, just see what he said.
yeah.
Hear it from the horse's mouth.
And I feel like, okay, there was a thought in my head that was like, okay, maybe this girl is actually the other girl.
Yeah.
And so I did consider that, but then I was like, what's the point of that anyway, you know?
Yeah. I did consider that early on too, that what if they replaced them?
Right.
Or
They're
one of them
switched.
is ready. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
been switched, and that's because I like didn't know like why they appeared, right? And I was like, maybe they
Right.
came back to get one of their own.
Right.
Like maybe one of these clone things is like one of them is missing or something.
Right.
But then I did the same thing. I dismissed it. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, that'd
like,
be too obvious.
why would that be? And then there was a point where I did also think that the son, Jason,
And he was weird.
that he was weird, and maybe he was like, maybe he got switched too.
Yeah.
Because remember in the beginning, the two sisters are like, your brother's weird.
Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah.
But it's because he's already like observing.
Yeah.
He's
And I did want to actually look up what was the message behind the daughter being a runner? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And what's the message with like the fire that the little boy plays with,
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like maybe there's symbols there too. I don't know.
I think maybe the fire. That's interesting because maybe.
Because remember, the other little boy was burned.
Yeah, he was burned, and you know what they say is like, you play with fire, you get burned, and it's a way. It's kind of like you fuck around, you find out.
Right.
Like if this character Jason, the son, is supposed to be like ahead.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be kind of perceptive and externally observed as like not more than just a weirdo, but internally he's like perceiving everything and observing it and just kind of like, he planned, like Jordan Peele said in that quote, like he planned for him to be ahead of everyone in the story. It's like he that version of him found like information.
Yeah, like he was actually he was the smartest one kind of in the room.
Yeah, like it symbolizes his like, like in the way, because he knows the truth, he gets burned for it. Does that make sense?
Sure. Let's go with that. I mean, I could understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I fully agree with you, but that's,
It's the pain of knowledge.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Like man inventing fire.
And I was just like, okay, the daughter has her running. He likes to play with fire and magic and things like that. What's the dad's point? He likes to buy boats.
He likes to buy boats.
Like what was his thing?
Yeah.
So
I don't think he had a thing, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what his thing was, and like
I don't even know if they're supposed to have a thing.
Maybe they're not even supposed to mean anything.
Maybe Jason's was rather, more symbolic. Maybe the running didn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know.
And I just remembered that the real I forgot her name already. The main character.
Yeah.
Remember she said that her daughter was her firstborn, and
Annabelle?
Yeah, something like that.
Annabelle?
And she was born laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, ew.
Creepy, huh?
That's creepy. That's what Red is what the other character's name is. The real
Annabelle.
Annabelle, whatever.
Her name is Annabelle.
Annabelle?
Annabelle. Or I might be completely wrong, but
Might be.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, and so I was just like, what is. And then remember when the little girl died in the tree, she was laughing.
Yeah, she was laughing.
Yeah.
Weird.
Weird, huh?
Super weird. And she didn't die laughing, the Red.
Red.
But when Annabelle killed Red, she like howled like a
Wait,
fucking.
wait, wait. You're mixing me up because Red didn't die. Red is alive.
No. Red is the original Annabelle.
Red,
You don't know that until the end, so it wouldn't make sense to now suddenly refer to Red as the real
but
Annabelle,
that's the
as the fake
reality of
Annabelle.
it now that everyone knows.
Do they? But that's not Red
Okay,
because she never
sure.
was Red.
Right. I guess that's true.
Yeah, she
The
never even
way
wore red.
I guess you could refer to,
The real Annabelle became Red,
yes.
but the Annabelle that everyone knows and thinks is Annabelle, we'll refer to her as Annabelle.
I feel like her name is not Antabelle.
Whatever the fuck her name is.
um, but yeah,
what is the name? Just put us characters.
it's Adelaide. Adelaide?
Oh, I said Annabelle. Fucking Annabelle.
They were calling her Addie, remember?
Addie, yeah, Adelaide Wilson. So the husband's Gabe.
I thought you were gonna say the husband's
The
gay.
husband's Gabe, and she's Adelaide. Jason, yeah. And then they don't even show the name of the daughter. Umbre? That's not even her.
Yeah.
She has a
What?
she has a real name.
She
Umbre is like the name of her shadow.
weird. So Umbre is
The shadow daughter.
red.
The red daughter.
Oh, okay, weird. So anyway,
So anyway,
good movie.
good movie.
You want to end it here?
I mean, yeah, where else do we go? We already have an hour.
Yeah, we do. Too long, huh?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
We did our best. You
Yeah.
know what we could have talked about?
What?
We could have talked about where we're at in Dragon Ball Z.
I like Jordan Peele's movies.
I do too. They're interesting, but
They're very
we just didn't even end
interesting.
up talking about
It's
it.
just like a common thing where I'm like so curious to know what all of his messages are, and I don't do that for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I like that because it makes me think.
Yeah. Thinking's
When
nice.
it's nice to think about something like that a creative or an artist is trying to convey, and you're just trying to like figure out what they're trying to say.
Yeah. You're like, what does the art mean?
Yeah.
Because you know it means more than what it is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun.
Which is fun because like he does that in a lot of his movies, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. You feel like you're not just getting like spoon fed bullshit. Like
Yeah, it's
you're
not
not
just a
watching.
surface level movie.
Yeah, like you're not watching Transformers
Yeah.
or Fast and Furious. Like where everything that you see is what you got.
Like you really have to think, and then it also makes you think about just like life itself and
It's
like
true.
your reality of how
That's
you're
true.
experiencing this message.
Yeah. It
And
changes how you perceive things around you and people.
yeah.
Yeah. That's very true. Like Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Nope. You're like, oh, the spectacle.
Mhm.
And you like think about it. And then you don't think about it too long because you're like, it's depressing.
It is depressing,
Like
but it's important to
it's
still
important to
be
see it.
aware of it.
To see
Yeah.
it. So you don't get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard not to get caught up
You
in
think
things.
about there's probably, a good amount of people that will watch his movies and be like, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
But
they'll
because they
dismiss it
probably also didn't look into it
or care to. Or
and
maybe they don't even think it means anything more than it is. That's kind of
then they
embarrassing.
just watched it and they're like, I didn't like it.
That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing also to be upset about there being symbolism because it's like you just expected. What did you want? Like,
Yeah. It's not a rom com.
it's not like you wanted something brainless for 2 hours.
Ugh.
What a loser.
So yeah. I mean, I thought this was a good episode. I thought it was funny to find all your creepy shit.
I know.
I'm gonna have to get my teddy bear to sleep at night.
Teddy, no. David's dead.
Okay. Goodbye.
So long. Good night.